In the late summer of 1994, Chicago was a city in transition. After Michael Jordan decided to quit basketball, the city felt a void that affected not only sports, but also the spirits of its inhabitants. The Chicago Bulls were no longer the undisputed champions, and the streets, once lively with fans, seemed somewhat deserted. The economy suffered from decreased tourism, and many local businesses had to improvise or even close their doors. The streets were filled with tales of past glories, while musicians played hopeful melodies. In the shadows of the iconic skyline, gatherings of fans reminisced about the glorious years with Jordan. Yet, amid this adversity, a new resilience emerged. Communities came together, art and culture thrived, and the city began to delve into new possibilities, with the ultimate hope of renewed pride. The spirit of Chicago remained alive, determined to rediscover its identity. In 1994, Chicago's train-served industries played a crucial role in the city's economy. The railroads, a legacy of the city's history as a transportation hub, facilitated the movement of goods both nationally and internationally. The city's vast network of rail lines connected major manufacturing plants to distribution centers. Industries like steel, food processing, and machinery relied heavily on rail transport for raw materials and finished products. The South Side, in particular, was home to many factories that benefited from proximity to rail lines. Chicago's location made it also a central point for the agriculture industry. The railroads transported grains, livestock, and other agriculture products from the Midwest to urban markets. This flow of goods supported both local businesses and the broader economy. Overall, while Chicago faced challenges, its train-served industries continued to be a backbone of its economy, even as they evolved to meet the demands of a changing world. Companies focused on logistics and shipping flourished alongside the railroads. Warehouses sprang up near train depots, allowing for efficient storage and distribution of goods. However, the mid-90s also marked a period of decline for some traditional rail-served industries. As globalization increased, many manufacturing jobs began to shift overseas and local industries faced competition. Yet, innovative companies started to adapt, embracing technology and new logistic strategies to remain competitive. Episode 13. Welcome everyone. New phase in modeling because I'm working onto track planning, a track plan that fits this layout. This is the mock-up, of course. This is not the layout, but anyways. And I had a track plan once, but as you can see, it doesn't even fit because the layout grew on me while I was busy at it. It happens sometimes. But new phase in modeling and new phase for the episodes, as you saw. We got a story now. I made up a story from where to work, and I already made a lot of track plans. This is just some schematics for the bench work. We can put that aside. What's this? Also for the bench work. This was for the special brackets I had to make to accommodate the rounded corner. Can put aside as well. What's this? A few track plans I made earlier. That's just some. Oh, that's the BR98. This was the earlier track plan, and I made a few variants on that with some more rounded sidings, and I see even an extra siding. Some schematics for how long the track should be to accommodate at least a locomotive with 1, 2 or 3 cars. Didn't know that at the time. This one is much smaller than the layout surface I already have, so we can. This was the first track plan I made. That's the one in the intro. Still the one I like the most, I think, but maybe it's just the coloring. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. What I want is a main line, and this is the main line, of course, going through, coming from a staging over here, probably on the wall, a small yard or something like that. I don't know yet. And main line is coming from that. Locomotive is bringing cars into here, and we have to at least have one siding so the locomotive can switch on to the other end of the cars and switch this, for example. This, I think this will be an interchange or something, I don't know yet, but just started to follow my feelings about it, and I thought I need a main line, a siding, a passing siding, and a couple of industries. That should probably it for a 9 feet by 2 feet. Started a few with the true width of the track. In this scale, it's a 1:10 scale. I try to draw in 1:10 scale because this actually is 3 millimeters now. So it gives me a good idea on how the track will compare to the buildings, for example, or to a road or something else. That's why I think drawing in scale is important and not just scribble something on. But as you can see, I do this a lot. Just trying out things. This was the first shape of the layout. 240 centimeters is about 8 foot. It's exactly 8 foot, I think. And it was a little bit smaller too, around 50 centimeters, 20 centimeters. It's the same as in the back now. This was another idea. I don't know if you can see it because I have drawn it in with just a pencil, but it was the incoming track was, how do you call this? A track within a road bed. I like that very much.
You call that street running.
Couple of other ideas. But as you can see, I'm just drawing on, and I don't know. There will be probably one, and that one is it. And which one that is, I really don't know yet. So maybe next episode, but this episode is just seeing what I have. Put this aside. Let me see, what's this? Oh, it's a drawing of the bench work. First I had to plan to place some diagonal braces into it, but eventually I think it's not needed. But if it's needed, I can do it also later. Due to the L girder bench work, the open bench work, it's very workable. Oh, some graffiti style. An old on-30 engine house. I probably have shown that earlier in one of the earlier episodes. I think 2 or 3. And just some scribblings I see. Whoops! There you go. You still here? Yeah. Maybe have a look in this. I already showed you this in last episode. Got me a glass of water as well. Is it going? The grass is a little bit too high because this small little engine, yeah, you see? This small little engine has some Märklin button on it for those stupid mid rails, and it's hooking on to the grass, so it goes well until it meets grass. I don't know. Sorry for the Märklin fans, but I'm not a fan of that mid rail. Not realistic. Not realistic enough for me. It is pretty reliable though. You won't have these things. But anyways, I like the realistic view and realistic part and side of modeling. But that's just me. Do what you like. I also like to watch toy train tables. Just the old style. Maybe with even maybe with some how do you call that? Tin? We call that tin and rails. The old toy trains. Mostly O-scale. Still like this a lot. Always stop here to take a look at these simple yet clever layouts. Mainline, passing siding, couple of industries. You can even switch this one out. Haven terminal, switching out for oil platforms, or a finishing shop, Heidegger heavy engineering. Blah, 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 blah. I'm missing the logo sounds. Oh, there it goes again. No? There we go. These also quite small boxes though. Let me see. Each module 1 foot by 4 foot 3 inches. That's it. Just make a couple of boxes, a LED track, staging cassette, whatever. Make 3 beautiful layouts, just small. I have a friend, Ronald Halma. He's also from the Netherlands, and he often makes these lovely small scenes with just a loco and a couple of cars. I really like that. And maybe you even know him. He's a lot on events. And like this, we're just going through this little booklet. I like this a lot. 2 scenes. Here's probably a window, removable link section in front of window. Yeah, well, called it. This was one of my favorites as well. Engine surface, station, loop, staging cassette. That's it. And this one. Again, one of my favorites. Logging. I still have quite a few engines and cars for on 30 logging layout, but I don't have the room for that yet. I have something in my head that I like to build, and there's no room for it at this moment. I started with model railroading when I turned 4 years old.
Okay, let's get these out first.
For my birthday, I got blessed with a huge Lego 774 nailed train set. And soon I also got the station, turnouts, a lot of extra track, and of course a crossing.
The other one as well.
And with this I began my journey as a model railroader.
Now I can create some new holes and fill up the other ones. Okay, let's mark them first, of course. Some new markings.
I really enjoyed designing different track plans and building bridges, tunnels and other railroad related stuff.
These are in. I think I'm going this way.
Besides my beloved Lego train, I also remember having a train set in an old cardboard box. Those were the old Lima trains from my dad, and every once in a while I dropped down a layout on the floor to run some trains.
2 inches apart from the old place they were.
At the age of 7, my interest in trains was fired up, and under the Christmas tree I found a Minitrix N-scale starter set including the scenery building set from the same brand. This led to the basic 4x8 layout on a tabletop in the attic. And I spent quite a few years building and operating it with my dad. Maybe that's the part that got me hooked, because I loved sharing my hobby with my dad. And I still do, even though he's not active with trains at the moment. When I was a teenager, I got introduced to American model railroading through a model railroader magazine that I found on an almost monthly swap meet nearby. And from that moment on, a lot of my interest went out to American steam trains and narrow gauge logging railroads in particular. And with this team, I built my first L-girdered shelf layout. The grades were a bit too steep even for the geared locomotives, but we all make mistakes, right? After that layout was destroyed when I moved out of my elderly home, a lot of years followed where I did just a few things with trains and a lot of side modeling, but not a lot of completed projects, unfortunately. Found myself armchair modeling a lot of the times, and a lot more than actually building a layout. I did get myself a big loop along the living room walls to run some trains on, but for the most part that was it. Until the end of last year, when I was watching YouTube and by accident came across the videos of Boomer Diorama. Those early videos of River Road got me all fired up again. And this time I'm determined to put all the ideas and fantasies I have into a wonderful diorama.
Just checking on the underside if it went well this time. The other one.
This layout will be mainly designed for intensive modeling, switching operations and filming or photography. I aim for a living painting as an end result, but one I can play around with and not just stare at. Actually, I don't really know why I'm talking this much this episode, because there's still a lot to do before the train arrives. I have to finish the backdrop painting for at least 80%, and as mentioned earlier, I still need a final track plan so I can order the track pieces I need. The top layer must receive its urethane sealing so that the cork that is still on the way,
nice and flush,
can be mounted when it arrives. That's also why I'm making this top layer
happy
as smooth as possible. So let's finish that now.
Now I have a lid with a bit of water and a little bit of soap. Mix that up with some wood glue. And some sawdust. Let's mix it.
I consider myself more of an artist than a train collector. I noticed that most people start off with buying trains,
well,
and sometimes a lot of them, before they actually start wanting a layout. For me, it's often the other way around. I like to see my trains as actors on a stage, playing their designated roles.
Whoops. It's like this now. Consistency of milk.
That's why I started this episode with a fictional story that will be the setting for this modeling movie.
Sawdust. Mix it up.
And now that I have almost finished the stage, it's time to build the stage set and creating the script and roles for the actors.
Bit more sawdust. Mix it up again.
The last part will be hiring actors and extras to fill in the roles, and of course they will be dressed appropriately. These mechanical actors don't belong in dusty old dressing rooms, just waiting for a good script to come along.
Until it's like this.
Toys are made to play with. That's why some people put in a lot of effort at making them move.
Put this aside. And fill up the holes.
And these days they often come with a whole rataplan, Dutch word, of functions sticked onto it.
One.
So don't be an armchair modeler, but get up, get out, and get something before the days of your life pass by.
2. Moisty finger.
Hope you will all come see me again next Friday for the sequel to this story. And hit the buttons if you would like to be notified for that.
There we go. Moisty finger.
If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will answer them if I can. Thank you all for the support up till now. I really appreciate it.
Push it in. Ready.
Let's end this week's video with a bit of inspirational relaxation and a noisy clip. One love.
This is the next day. Now it's dry. And this is what we left with. A little hump. But that's just a block of sanding paper. Rough side first, of course. Get it away. The other side is smooth, rough, 120 grit, 400 grit. And it's wood again. And I use this instead of filler because now it's exactly the same material as it was. I could do all those screw holes as well this way, but they still have to be opened because I still have to remove the shelf to put it in urethane. I want to put it in at least 3 coats of urethane. Why is it not zooming today? Zoom in, Cam. My Lego stand. It's my camera stand. Still playing with Lego. I know most people use filler to fill up these holes in the wood, but I would rather use my filler to create some roads in the model railroad scenes. What do we have here? Take a look at this one. Or do you think it's boring? Because I don't think so. I love to do this. Look at it. In Holland we don't even have homes these sizes. I can only dream of something like this. We have a few clubs though. And there's Lance Midheim's his layout.
Voodoo and Palmeros. Also showed this last episode, but only short, so let's take a good look at it. Love this pig. Couple of containers. Sky. Realistic looking locomotive. Some grass. And the perfect sign. That's it. Lovely picture. And of course this one. With a photoshopped backdrop. Ooh. SN3. S-scale. Mike Ostertag. But this is SN3. It's a narrow gauge. You do that also, Mike? SN3? I love these things. It's probably import brass. Mike those. I'm just getting quiet from all these nice pics. I'm sorry. Or is it better like that? Just watching pics with me. But this way I probably get the right idea for my own track plan, so I can move on, because I have to order track and I don't know how much time it will take before it's here. I will probably order the Pico track just because I'm curious and I heard good things about it. Pico Code 70 US track. I hope they will deliver that to Holland, to the Netherlands, this small Dutchy country. Nice to have a room with the layout like that. A peninsula, I like the word peninsula. Steve, you really pronounced that well. Peninsula. I like that word. Just like inevitable. Inevitable, peninsula, couple of my favorite English words. I have a favorite locomotives, I have favorite words, favorite everything. And I'm getting tired because it's already late. This is the only time I can quietly film things, because I'm living in a very noisy neighborhood. I'm also living very near the airport. I'm living very near the airport, Schiphol Airport. I will show you a small clip. I filmed that when I was on my way to Aalsmeer, a village nearby. Quietly, we're already at the end. Did I go too fast? I'm sorry, but the video is getting too long like that. I also like these autumn colors. I don't know if I will do that on my layout, but maybe I'll start off late summer. And in the near future I will change that up to autumn. I love that orange and yellow and reddish. And like that. O scale. Always nice. It takes up a lot of room.
especially in normal gauge O scale. Too much room for most houses in the Netherlands. Think I'll finish it off like this. Will it drive? Nope. Watch your volume, please. I know some of you will also like planes, but this is the main reason I have to cut my filming at some times.